When you see someone doing something well, what do you think? Most people think, wow, they were born with talent. I can never be like them. But that's not true. Those people aren't special. They just practice longer and better. They didn't give up when things got hard. Expertise is not luck. It's a process. It's a system. And anyone can follow it, including you. If you understand the right way to learn, the next 6 months can completely change your skill level. You can become the person others look at and think, wow, how did they get so good? This is Fluent English with Radio, your source of motivation. And today, I will show you the 7 rules to become an expert in anything. If you're ready to stop watching others succeed and start becoming the expert yourself, let's begin. The first thing we need to do is break down the biggest lie about experts. Let me ask you something. Do you think experts are born different? Most people do. They look at someone who speaks English fluently, plays piano beautifully, or writes an amazing essay, and they think that person has a gift. I don't have that gift. I want you to remember this one sentence. That thought is your biggest enemy. The real truth. Experts are made, not born. They just stayed in the game longer than others. They focused better. They practiced smarter. You might think some people learn a little faster at first, but the real difference isn't speed. It's strategy and the ability to keep going when it gets tough. Think about it. You see the perfect performance, but not the years of silent practice, mistakes, and moments they wanted to give up. You admire the result, but you miss the process. This is key. You don't need 10 years. You just need focused, regular practice. It's not about how long you practice, but how you practice. Many people try for years but don't get better because they don't practice the right way. You don't need special talent. You don't need to be lucky. You just need to understand how learning really works. So it's time to let go of that old belief. Stop telling yourself, I'm just not good at this. Instead, say, I haven't learned the right way yet. Because once you learn the right way, everything changes. So we know experts are made, not born. But if that's true, why do so many people try and never get there? It's not because they're not smart or don't have time. It's because they make 3 big mistakes. Let me explain each one. Mistake 1. Passive learning. Only watching, never doing. This is the biggest mistake. Most people think learning means consuming information. They watch YouTube videos, they read books, they listen to podcasts, and they feel like they're learning. But learning is not consuming, learning is doing. You can watch 100 videos about swimming, but if you never get in the water, you'll never swim. The same is true for any skill. You can't learn English just by watching. You can't learn to draw just by looking. Learning is doing, by trying, by making mistakes. Most people stay comfortable. They watch and learn in their head, but they never test themselves in the real world. And that's why they never improve. That's the difference. Mistake 2. No feedback loop. Never knowing what's wrong. Another big mistake. Most people practice alone. They never ask for feedback. They never let anyone check their work. Why? Because they're afraid. They don't want to hear that they're doing something wrong. They don't want to feel embarrassed. Guess what? You can't improve what you never test. Imagine learning guitar alone in your room. You practice daily, but nobody ever tells you what needs work. After 1 year, you still make the same mistakes. Feedback is your guide. The best learners look for feedback. They ask a teacher, a coach, or a friend, what am I doing wrong? How can I improve? This feedback is like a mirror. It shows you what you cannot see by yourself. Mistake 3, ego barrier, too afraid to start from zero. This is the most dangerous mistake, your ego. Your ego says, I must be good. I don't want to look stupid. So you don't start or only do easy things. You stay safe in your comfort zone. Let me give you an example. Many people study English for 5 years. They know thousands of words. They understand grammar. But they can't have a simple conversation. The reason is simple. They're too afraid to speak. They're afraid of making mistakes. Afraid people will laugh. Their ego is bigger than their desire to learn. You need to know that every expert was once a beginner. Every expert made mistakes. Many, many mistakes. The difference is they were not afraid to be beginners. They accepted the mistakes. So yeah, your ego is your biggest enemy in learning. If you want to become an expert, you must be willing to be bad first. You must be okay with being a beginner. Growth is uncomfortable, but it is the only way. If you never test yourself, if you never put yourself in difficult situations, you will never know what you need to improve, and you will stay at the same level forever. Now we get to the most important part, the 7 rules. These are not just ideas. These are the rules that will help you become an expert in anything you choose. If you follow these rules with focus and keep going, you will be amazed at how much you've grown. Let's go through each one carefully. Rule 1. Focus on depth, not width. This is the first and most important rule. Go deep, not wide. You already know experts don't try to learn everything. So how do you apply this? The secret is a clear target and focused energy. Here is your mission. Ask yourself this simple question. What is the one specific area I will go deep into for the next 90 days? If you're just collecting information, you need to stop. Your first step is this. Choose one skill. Just one. But don't stop there. Now choose one specific part of that skill. Make this skill your main project and commit to deep focus. Let's take your English as an example. Don't just choose speaking. That's still too wide. Get specific. Instead, choose the deep way. Instead of speaking, choose speaking with correct past tense verbs in conversations. Or instead of vocabulary, choose mastering 100 words for talking about my job. And for the next few months, your only goal is to attack that one specific part. Speak every single day, focusing only on your past tense. Collect and use those 100 job words. Go deep into that single clear target. After months of this deep focus, you will be amazed at how much you have improved. You will have built a strong foundation in one specific area. Then you can move to the next part. Don't be a collector of skills, be a master of one. Rule 2, practice with purpose. You've heard, practice makes perfect. That's a lie. The truth is, perfect practice makes perfect. Most people practice on autopilot. This is mindless practice. It doesn't make you better. It just makes you tired. Experts use focused practice. This means every time you practice, you have a clear target to fix one specific weakness. Imagine you're learning to play piano. A regular person plays songs they already know over and over. It feels good because they can play something. An expert finds the part they can't play well. They practice only that part, again and again. Slowly at first, then faster until they can play it perfectly. That's focused practice. It's hard and it's not always fun, but it works. 1 hour of focused practice is worth more than 10 hours of mindless practice. Now, let's turn it into your action plan. Here's how you can start focused practice today. I call it the target practice method. Step 1. Name your problem. Before you start, write down one, and only one, weakness you will attack today. For example, in English, I can't use the present perfect tense correctly. Step 2. Practice only that problem. Spend 15 or 20 minutes on only that one thing. Step 3. Practice with 100% attention. No phone, no distractions, just you and that one goal. Step 4. Check your work right away. This is the most important part. Don't wait. Check your work immediately. Record your 10 sentences and listen. Use an app to check your grammar, or ask a teacher right away. The goal is to close the loop between practice and correction as fast as possible. See that? You're not just practicing, you're practicing with purpose. So remember, it's not about how long you practice, it's about how smart you practice. Rule 3. Build a fast feedback loop. You can't become an expert alone. You need a mirror to see your mistakes. This mirror is called a feedback loop, and the faster your feedback loop, the faster you improve. No one becomes an expert alone. Even the greatest football players have coaches. Even the best writers have editors. You need someone or something to point out your mistakes clearly. Without feedback, you are like someone walking in the dark. You might be heading toward a wall without realizing it until you hit it. A fast feedback loop is like a flashlight that helps you see the wall before you hit it. But there is one problem. Most people practice alone. They're afraid of criticism. You must remember that feedback is not judgment. It's your shortcut to growth. When someone points out your mistake, they're giving you a gift. They're showing you exactly what you need to fix. Without that, you might practice the wrong way for months or even years. So how do you build a feedback loop? Here are some options for you. Option 1. Find a mentor or teacher, someone who's already good at the skill you want to learn. Ask them to check your work regularly. Option 2. Join a community. Find a group of people learning the same thing. Practice together. Give each other honest feedback. Option 3. Record yourself. If you're learning a language, record your speaking. If you're learning music, record your playing. Then watch or listen and find your mistakes. The key is this: get feedback often and early. Don't wait until you're perfect to show your work. Show it when you're still struggling. That's when feedback helps the most. When you get feedback, don't feel bad. Don't make excuses. Just say, "Thank you. I'll work on that." Then go practice that one specific thing until it's better. Without feedback, you are walking in the dark. With a fast feedback loop, someone turns on the lights. This is how you stop guessing and start growing. Rule 4. Become friends with boredom. Rule number 4 might be the most challenging, but it can also completely change you. We've talked about discipline, but what do you do when discipline meets boredom? You master it. Yes, you hear that right. The path to mastery is not exciting. It's not always fun. Most of the time, it's repetitive and boring. And that's exactly where most people quit. Think about it. When you start something new, it's exciting. Your brain is active, learning everything. But after a few weeks, the excitement fades. The practice becomes routine. It feels boring. Most people mistake this boredom for a sign to stop. They think, "I've lost my passion," and they go looking for the next exciting thing. Experts, on the other hand, understand that boredom is not the enemy. It's the bridge to mastery. When you first learn to drive a car, everything is difficult. You have to think about every movement. Your brain is working hard. It's exhausting but exciting. But after driving for a few months, you don't think about it anymore. Your hands and feet know what to do. You can drive and talk at the same time. It became automatic. That's called muscle memory or deep learning. And you can only reach that level through repetition, boring, uncomfortable repetition. Every single time you repeat a skill when you're bored, you are not failing. You are making it smoother, faster, and more useful. So here's my advice. When you feel bored, that's a good sign. It means you're on the right path. It means your brain is working in the background, making things automatic. Don't quit when you get bored. That is the moment you must keep going. Stay. Keep practicing, even when nobody is watching, even when you don't feel like it. Because one day, you'll look back and realize those boring days were the ones that made you great. The people who master boredom become the experts. The people who run from it remain average. Which one will you be? Rule 5. Learn from the best. Rule number 5 is your secret weapon to learn faster. You don't have to figure everything out by yourself. That's slow and frustrating. Instead, learn from people who are already where you want to be. See how experts do it and learn from them. Pay attention to how they think. Notice how they solve problems. Look at what they do differently from beginners. For example, if you want to become a great speaker, don't just practice speaking by yourself. Watch great speakers. Watch TED Talks. Watch successful presentations. But don't just watch for entertainment. Watch with purpose. Notice how they start their speech. How do they connect with the audience? What's their tone, their speed, their body language? Then take those techniques and try them yourself. You're not copying, you're learning structure. This is not cheating. This is smart learning. Every expert learns from other experts. Every great musician studied the great musicians before them. Every great writer read the great writers. You're not trying to be them. You're trying to understand what makes them great and then use those lessons in your own way. It's the same with any skill. The fastest learners first imitate, then create. But here is the most important part. Don't copy blindly. Understand the why behind their actions. Study their thinking process, not just their techniques. Find a true master in your field. Next, break down their success. Figure out their methods. Then, use these lessons to develop a style that is unique to you. Remember, you don't need to create everything yourself. Use the expert's knowledge first. Then, you can create your own great work. Rule 6. Teach what you learn. Here's one of the most powerful learning techniques ever discovered. If you want to understand something deeply, teach it to someone else. Albert Einstein once said, "If you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough." This is the main idea of this rule. Teaching isn't just about helping others, it's the test of your own understanding. Here's why this works so well. When you learn something, your brain collects information. It's like having a messy room. You know where things are, but it's not organized. But when you teach, you are forced to clean that room. You have to organize everything. You have to find simple words. You have to answer questions. It forces you to make things clear, and in that process, you understand the topic 10 times better. And also, teaching shows you exactly what you don't know. When you try to explain something, you find a gap in your knowledge. Now you know exactly what to study next. Teaching is like a flashlight that reveals the dark spots in your understanding. How can you start teaching right now? Well, you don't need a classroom. Explain it to a friend or family member. Tell them what you learned today in the simplest words possible. Or write it down in your own words. Don't copy from a book or website. Write what you learned as if you were teaching a complete beginner. Making a video or audio recording is also a good method. You don't have to post it online. Just record yourself explaining the topic, then listen to it. You'll notice where you're confused or unclear. Another way is to talk to yourself. Pretend you are a teacher and explain the topic out loud. It might feel strange, but it works incredibly well. Let me give you a clear example. Imagine you're trying to understand the present perfect tense in English. You can read about it and think you get it, but the real test is when you try to explain it to someone else. You'd have to say, "We use it to connect the past to the present," like when we talk about an experience without saying when it happened. In that moment of explaining, you'll realize if you truly understand the difference between "I went to Paris" and "I have been to Paris." If you can't explain it, you've found your weak spot. So starting today, make this a habit. Every time you learn something new, teach it to someone or teach it to yourself. You don't truly know something until you can explain it simply. Become a teacher and you will become a master. Rule 7. Play the long game. And now we arrive at the final rule. This is the rule that separates true experts from everyone else. I know. In the intro, I said 6 months can change your life, and that's true. 6 months of following these rules will transform you. This is where you become an expert in the eyes of many people. But the game is not over after 6 months. For a true expert, the game is just beginning. Let me show you why the long game is so powerful through the 1% rule. Just try to get 1% better every day. It seems very small. You will not feel different. But after 1 year, you are not a little better. You are 37 times better. How does this happen? Because every day, your small improvement builds on the day before. Day 1, you're 1% better. Day 2, you're 1% better than that new level. Day 3, you're even better. This is why the long game works. Small improvements every day become huge improvements over time. Of course, your progress will not be a straight line. Some days you improve. Other days, you feel stuck. This is normal. Your brain is building deep skills in the background, even when you can't feel it. Now here's the trap most people fall into. Most people practice, see some progress, and stop. They think they've finished. What happens if you stop? You don't stay at the same level. Your skills get weaker. It's like a garden. If you stop watering it, the plants die. But if you keep going, practice becomes a habit, like brushing your teeth. It becomes part of your life. You don't need motivation anymore. You just do it. This is what separates true experts from everyone else. Most people play the short game and stop when they're good enough. But true experts, they never stop. For them, learning is not a project. It's a lifestyle. While everyone else stops and goes backward, you keep improving. 1% every day, day after day, month after month, year after year. After 1 year, you're at a completely different level. After 2 years, you're someone people look at and think, "Wow, how?" The answer is simple. You played the long game while others played the short game. And remember, regular practice always beats short excitement. Feelings of excitement go away. Good habits do not. Practicing every day for years will make you a master, not because you were always excited, but because you were always steady. The long game is not easy, but it's the only game that creates true masters. And now you know the rules. The question is, will you play? You know the mistakes that hold people back, and you now have the 7 rules to move forward. But let me show you something even deeper. What actually separates experts from everyone else? The answer is, experts don't just practice more, they practice better. A lot of people think experts just work harder, but that's not the full story. Yes, they work hard, but more importantly, they work smart. Let me show you the 4 big differences between regular people and experts. Number 1. Regular people learn to know. Experts learn to do. When most people learn something new, they stop when they understand it. They think, okay, I get it now. I know how to do it, and move on. But understanding is not the same as doing. Experts don't care about just understanding. They care about turning knowledge into skill. And the only way to do that is through action, by doing it again and again until it becomes automatic. For example, you can understand the grammar rule for past tense in English, but can you use it correctly when you're speaking quickly? That only comes from practice. Don't just collect information, use it. Ask yourself, am I learning to know or learning to do? Number 2, regular people look for motivation. Experts build discipline. Let me ask you, how many times have you felt motivated to start something new? Maybe you watched an inspiring video. Maybe you read a great book. You felt excited. You felt ready. But after a few days or weeks, that feeling disappeared, and you stopped. Motivation is like a quick flame. It burns bright, but it doesn't last long. Discipline is like slow burning coal. It keeps you warm for a long, long time. Experts don't wait for motivation. They build discipline. They have a routine. They have a fixed time every day when they practice. It doesn't matter if they feel like it or not. They just do it anyway. Think about brushing your teeth. Do you wait to feel motivated to brush your teeth? You just do it because it's part of your routine. That's how experts treat their practice. It's not something they do when they feel inspired. It's something they do every single day, no matter what. Motivation gets you started. Discipline keeps you going. Number 3, regular people fear mistakes. Experts use mistakes to learn. This is huge. Most people avoid making mistakes. They stay safe. They only do things they're already good at. But experts, they hunt for mistakes. They look for situations where they might fail because every mistake is a map that shows them exactly what they need to improve. Let me give you an example. If you're learning English and you never speak, you'll never make mistakes. And if you never make mistakes, you'll never know what you need to fix. You'll just stay at the same level. But if you speak every day, you'll make mistakes. People will correct you. You'll notice your weak points. And then you can focus on improving those specific parts. Experts are not embarrassed by mistakes. They're only afraid of not learning from them. So don't avoid mistakes, welcome them, because they are your fastest path to improvement. Number 4, regular people try to learn everything. Experts focus on one thing. Finally, the last big difference. Most people try to learn too many things at once. They jump from skill to skill. They collect information like they're shopping. But experts do the opposite. They choose one thing and go deep into it. They understand that going deep creates mastery. Learning many things in a shallow way just makes you confused. Think about it like digging for water. If you dig 10 shallow holes, you won't find water. But if you dig one deep hole, you'll reach the water. The same is true for skills. If you want to become an expert, you have to focus. Pick one skill, one area, and go all the way down to the bottom. So here we are. You now have the 7 rules to become an expert in anything you want. And I mean anything. Whether it's English, music, business, or any skill you dream of mastering, these rules work the same way. Because expertise isn't about the field, it's about the process. Remember this, experts aren't born different. They just know the right way to practice and follow it. Anyone can start with excitement, but true experts stay when the excitement is gone. They love the process more than the result. So make your decision. Stop just collecting knowledge. Stop searching for quick tricks. Choose one skill and commit to it fully. Use these 7 rules, get feedback, embrace the boring days, and give yourself the real chance to see your full potential. Because focused effort doesn't just improve you, it transforms you into a true expert. This journey starts with a single step, a single decision you make today. Thank you for watching. If this video helped you, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. Now go. Choose your skill. Your path to expertise starts now.